Hey everyone, this is SteelerDude11 and I'm back with another video. I'm transitioning from doing videos from my computer to my phone because it's more convenient for me. Anyway, the main point of this video is that the 2019 AP Top 25 poll has been released about a few hours ago, and this is my first reaction to the list. I haven't seen it yet until right now, and let's see how they rank the teams this year. Alright, so this year they have 7 Big Ten teams, 6 SEC teams, 5 Pac-12 teams, 3 Big 12, 2 ACC, 1 AAC, and 1 independent. So I'm pretty sure the independent team is Notre Dame, and that the AAC team is Central Florida. The 2 ACC teams, well, one of them is Clemson, that's obvious. And I don't know, what could be the other one, like Pitt or something? Virginia, something like that, I don't know. So let's get to the list. Alright, so number 1 is Clemson with 52 first place votes. Now I expected that, alright? Clemson was the number 1 team, or no, they were number 2. They pretty much dominated every game they played, except Texas A&M and Syracuse. They destroyed Notre Dame in the semifinal game. They destroyed Alabama in the national championship. Number 2 is Alabama with 10 first-place votes. I expected that as well. I expect Alabama to be number 2 because I knew they weren't going to be number 1 this year. Number 3 is Georgia. I feel like that's a bit too high, though, because they had a good year last year, but then they lost the SEC championship, and then they lost their bowl game to Texas. I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is also based on how stuff went in the off season. Number 4 is Oklahoma. Number 5 is Ohio State. Number 6 is LSU. Number 7 is Michigan. Okay, I expected Michigan was going to be at number 7. Number 8 is Florida. Number 9 is Notre Dame. They put Notre Dame at 9. That's what a lot of people were saying. They put Texas at 10, Oregon at 11, Texas A&M at 12, Washington at 13, 14 is Utah, 15 is Penn State, 16 is Auburn, 17 is Central Florida, 18 is Michigan State, 19 is Wisconsin, 20 is Iowa, 21 Iowa State, 22 is Syracuse. So Syracuse is the other ACC ranked team. Number 23 is Washington State, 24 is Nebraska, and 25 is Stanford. Even though Nebraska finished 4-8 last year, they make the top 25. I feel like that's the first time that's ever happened. A team finishes off the previous season with a losing record, doesn't make a bowl game, but they make the top 25. I feel like there's too much hype around Nebraska, and people are going to act like they're so shocked if Nebraska does bad next year. Now, I'm not saying Nebraska's going to be terrible, but they're not going to be as bad as they were last year, but they're not going to be like, 10-2, 9-3. I see them as like a 7-5 or a 6-6 team next year. Other than that, I think this is a pretty accurate list. I think it's weird Michigan is ranked higher than Florida, even though Florida beat Michigan last year in that last bowl game. In Florida, well, they both finished with the same record, 10-3, but still. Notre Dame is lower than Florida and Michigan, despite Notre Dame making the college football playoffs last year and losing in the first game. Michigan State is ranked, even though they finished 7-6 last year, lost the bowl game to Oregon. Maybe it's how they did in the off season. And now that Brian Lewerke is returning, maybe Michigan State will go back to being good again, like in 2017. Stanford is ranked after having a disappointing season last year. Went all the way up to number 7 at one point, but then became unranked. So, yeah, this is a pretty accurate list to the top 25. And they have that Miami-Florida game on Saturday, which I'm going to watch because I think that's going to be pretty interesting. And then they'll do what they do all the time. They'll update this every Monday after college football week at noon. And then the college football playoff poll will come out in November, the first Tuesday of November, and then we'll see how the season goes. Clemson and Alabama are heavy favorites to make the college football playoff again. But who are the other teams? The ESPN predicts that the two other teams to make it are Georgia and Michigan. They don't think Oklahoma will return. They don't think Notre Dame will return. I don't think Notre Dame is going to return either. And others receiving votes: Missouri with 117, Army with 94, Mississippi State with 87, Miami with 70, Northwestern with 63, TCU with 57, Virginia with 44, Boise State with 38, Cincinnati at 16, South Carolina at 15, Virginia Tech at 12, Fresno State at 8, Utah State at 8, Minnesota at 7, Memphis with 6, Appalachian State with 5, UAB, West Virginia, Oklahoma State, and Arizona State with 3, and Arizona and USC with 1. And so those were the teams that did receive votes but didn't quite make the list. And Central Florida is the only group of 5 school to make it. Big Ten has, this time the Big Ten has the most schools in the top 25, them being Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, Wisconsin, and Iowa and Nebraska. 6 SEC teams, those being Alabama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, Texas A&M, and Auburn. 5 Pac-12 teams, 3 Big 12 teams, and yeah. So I think this is a pretty accurate list. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I want to know what you guys think of me transitioning from the computer to the phone. I think it will be more easier for me to make videos.